I was a dutiful daughter. I was number 2 in a family of 5 girls. And of course, you know, this is a curse to a Chinese man to have 5 daughters. There is no son to carry on that last name. Ergo, my last name is Song Ong, and Song being my maiden name in honor of my dad's family. I followed in my older sister's footsteps. She was a school teacher, and I love children and I love teaching, and so that is what I signed up for in my curriculum. But my father had other plans for me, and he insisted that I apply to law school. And I looked at him as if he had 3 heads and said, "Dad, you're kidding. I've been studying 4 years elementary ed, and this is what I want to do." But he was persistent. So I went to law school, and I will tell you, it was a very difficult time. I was not prepared for that. I was used to studying early childhood development and the theories of Piaget, and I was going to law school with students to my left and right who wanted to be lawyers since 2nd grade. So there I was, a fish out of water, but somehow or another I made it through the 3 years of law school and passed the bar exam first time around, which I was very pleased at. And I went back home to Phoenix to try to practice law and also to marry my then fiance. My first job was as a prosecutor and as a trial attorney. I had a very youthful appearance at that time, and I was small in stature. I stand at 5 feet tall. And so I did not look like anything that other judges and lawyers were used to seeing in the courthouse. There was a gentleman defense attorney that was renowned in our court for always choosing to embarrass and berate young attorneys. And I remember this gentleman, we were trying a DUI case at the time, and it was one of my first cases, so it was really daunting. And I realized I had this challenge ahead of me, and I'd been told by all the attorneys in my office about this gentleman and his tactics, and I was not going to let him get to me. He would continue to refer to me as this little girl attorney. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, how can you believe what this little kid's telling you? And really try to shake my confidence and to get me off focus. But I was bound and determined not to do that. And so I conducted myself very professionally throughout the trial, and I got up to make my rebuttal final statement or final argument. And all I said was, "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it has been my privilege and my duty to represent the state of Arizona in this matter against this little boy attorney." And I sat down, and there was quite a ruckus in the courtroom. That really wasn't my style, but I had had it up to here with this guy. And after I said that, yes, I won that case. So that's one really vivid example when I was a fresh, young prosecuting attorney. Another one I'll give you is when I was a young judge in Scottsdale. Sometimes because of the crowdedness of our courtrooms, we often handled some things in chambers, and that's the judicial offices. And I remember that this defendant came in to enter a change of plea. And so he had a plea agreement, he had his attorney, and the prosecutor was sitting there, and I was sitting there. And the clerk brought the litigants in and sat them in front of my desk and introduced me as Judge Song Ong. And as I sat there, I went through painstakingly this plea agreement. And at the end of the case, as was my habit, I would say to the defendant, "Sir, do you have any other questions about what we've just gone over or the process, anything at all?" And he did, and he says, "Yes, I do. When will I get to see the judge?" So he apparently thought I was some kind of glorified secretary, you know, going through the paperwork, but that I couldn't possibly be the judge. My greatest accomplishment, I think without a doubt, is the rearing of my 2 children to adulthood. I think a secondary achievement, if I were to talk about this in my professional life, was to become the first Asian woman judge in Arizona. And now I realized that I was short-sighted and that my father was very forward-thinking when he said to each of his daughters, "You can do anything." And that would be my advice, and that would be my hope for all Arizona women, that every one of them can be that elementary school teacher, can be that engineer, can be that lawyer or judge, can be that doctor. And there should be nothing holding any of them back.